Good morning. Are you able to see my screen? So, what is our last class? We have started SAP Security, right?
Yeah, yes, Ram.
What is the role of SAP Security?
To create users, to provide access to users,
Mhm. Role of SAP Security is to do a user administration, to do a role administration, and troubleshoot the authorization issues, okay? Copy the roles from one system to another system, and also to perform SAP auditing. Okay,
okay,
these are the different responsibilities for SAP security consultant. So in a project, if it is a big client, if it is a huge client, okay, if it is a huge number of team, then in that project, we can see SAP Basis consultant and we can see SAP security consultant. Okay, there are different consultants are there for the project. Okay, if it is a middle client, if it is a middle client or very small client, okay, then the basis consultant should capable of handle the security activities. Okay, basis consultant only can handle the SAP security responsibilities also. Okay, and if you're talking about pure SAP security consultant, okay, pure SAP security consultant, then he needs to know the user administration, role administration, troubleshooting, SAP auditing. Okay, these apart from that, he has to know GRC. GRC is a tool. Okay, governance risk control tool. Okay, so pure SAP security consultant can work in a GRC. Okay, but as per our subject, as per our course content, we are covering what a SAP basis consultant can handle the security responsibilities. Okay, these are we are covering. Got my point?
yes, Ram. Now the GRC is also used by big companies.
Yes. If you are talking about a pure security consultant, then GRC must be there.
Okay,
Okay, that will comes in under only for pure security consultant. Okay, but we are not focusing on pure security consultant. We are focusing on pure basis consultant plus core main security responsibilities. Okay, whenever you are into a one project, in that project if there is no SAP security consultant, then you need to know how to handle these roles and responsibilities minimum, then only you can survive. Okay, and GRC is a mandatory, not a mandatory for basis consultant. GRC is a mandatory for pure security consultant. Got my point?
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all we are talking about the user administration. Okay, to create a user, what is the transaction code?
SU01.
SU01. Okay, 200, right? Our client. See, if I want to create a user, okay, first of all I need to go to the SU01 screen, right? /n SU01. /n SU01. This is my SU01 screen. This is my SU01 screen. User maintenance initial screen. User maintenance initial screen, right? So here I can provide a username, okay, and see here the options are create, okay, go for create. So this is the user master data. Okay, in user master data we have a different types of tabs. First one is address tab. See the symbol, one check mark, right? This is nothing but a mandatory field. So you need to mandatory fill these options, right? The mandatory fields are should be filled first. Okay, Mr. and last name is Bala. Okay, first name and department, room number, okay, and telephone, mobile, email, fax, okay, and down C, assigning a company address. We have created a company, right? So whenever you're creating at the first time new users, okay, SAP will ask you create a company address. Why? Because every user should assign to a one company address. Got my point? Whenever you are creating a user at the first time, it will ask you to create a company address. Okay, if we have created a two company addresses, if I want to assign a new company address, see, assign new company address. I created at the first time when we created a user, it asked me create a company address. So I have created one company vSoft. Okay. Now if I created another company, then I can assign, if I want to assign another company address, I can assign another company address using this option. Okay. Why? Because every user master data should assign to one company address. Got my point?
Yeah.
This is the address tab. Okay, and apart from that, after that address tab, we have a logon data, SNC, defaults, parameters, roles, profiles, and all. Okay, logon data. Logon data, what it contains, if you have any alias name, you can provide a alias, and user type. These are the most important. User type. Every user master record should have a user type. What is the user type? Whether it is a dialog user or system user or communication user or reference user or service user. Okay, there are 5 types of users are there. There are 5 different types of users are there. User types are 5. What are the user types? Dialog user, system user, communication user, reference user, and service user. You need to remember these 5 options. These 5 are different types of users. Got my point?
Yes, Ram.
So, first we are creating a dialog user. Okay, and initial password and repeat the password. Okay, we need to provide a initial password. Okay, initial password is mandatory. Without initial password, how can user will log in? Correct? So initial password. User group. If there is any group name you have created. Okay. For example, HR department, HR functional guys are should be created in one group, should be assigned to the one group, and SD functional guys are assigned to one group. So we can create a user group. Okay, we can create a user group. See, if I created a user group, for example, Basis. Basis is my user group name. What is the use of a user group name? What are the basis users I am creating? All the basis users I can assign to one group. Okay, that group name is basis. So whenever I am filtering based on the groups, if I filtering based on the group, basis group, then I can able to see all the user IDs which are assigned to the basis group. Got my point?
Yeah.
So that is the user group. And valid from valid to. If I want to provide some validity for this user ID, okay, if I want to provide some validity for this user, then I can provide a validity, means from which date to which date, okay, which date to which date, okay, valid from and valid through. Okay, if the validity has been expired, then user cannot be logged in because the validity has been expired. So user cannot log in. If you are not mentioned any validity, okay, there is no validity period for a user. Got my point?
Yeah.
And account numbers and cost centers. Okay, these will be created by our functional team. What is the account number needs to assign to this user? What is the cost center need to assign to this user? So here the main concept is whenever you are creating a users as a security consultant, whenever you are creating a users, okay, first we will receive user data. First we will receive the user data from the client or functional team. Okay, we will receive the user data first of all. What is the user data we can receive? We can receive the what is the user ID and what is his first name and last name. Okay, if there is any function needs to be provided, what is the department name and what is the email ID and which company need to assign. Okay, and if there is any validity need to maintain, then they will provide the validity also. Okay, after that, is there any account number is there? Okay, is there any cost center is there? Okay, and after that what are the specific roles needs to assign? Okay, what are the specific roles? They will mention some specific roles required, some specific roles required. They will provide you role names. Okay, so those roles we can assign here. Okay, those roles we can assign here. Okay, got my point? And profiles, if they required any profile need to assign, okay, we can assign the profiles here. Okay, if I want to give all authorizations to this user, okay, if I want to give full authorizations to this user, then I can assign SAP underscore all is one profile, and I can give SAP underscore new. This is another profile. Okay, SAP underscore all means all SAP system authorizations. SAP underscore new means all new authorizations. So if you provide these two profiles, then this user will have a full access in my SAP system in this client only, in this client, because client user master data is a client specific data. Got my point? User master data, this is user master data, right? This user
Yeah.
master data is specific to client only. For example, if I have two clients 100 and 200, I have created client user ID Bala in 200 client. Can I log in with this user ID in 100 client?
No,
Why?
because the user data is client specific.
So user data is a client specific, so we cannot log in, right? So we have seen the one diagram in client administration, right? User
Yeah.
master data, transactional data, application data, right? Every
Yeah. Yeah.
client have a user master data. Whenever you are creating a client, whenever you are creating a users, those users will particular specific to particular client only. Okay, so if they required any full authorizations, then we can provide SAP all and SAP new. Okay, after that, what are the tabs are there? Groups. Okay, what user group I need to assign? Okay, and personalization and license data. Okay, this license data is most important for user creation. Why? Because whenever, see, what are the users you are creating? Okay, again stuck. So what are the users you are created? So if there is a dialog users, okay, if the dialog users, they have a licensing data. Why? Because whenever you are doing a SAP auditing, okay, so what are the dialog users are there? How many dialog users are there? SAP will cost for each and every dialog user. Okay, so
Okay.
that depends on for our license data. License data. Okay, at the time of SAP security, at the time of SAP auditing time, we need to fetch the data. How many dialog users are there in my client? Okay, how many users are there? What type of users? Dialog users. Okay, there are different types of licensed data is there. Okay, only basis user, operational user, enterprise HR user. Okay, this licensed data we are not responsible. Client is responsible for licensed data because he need to, okay, he need to pay for license. He need to pay the money for all the licensed users, okay, to SAP. Got my point?
Yeah, here basis users means technical staff, technical basis staff.
Whenever you are creating a users, so they will provide you which license data we need to assign for this user ID. Okay.
Okay.
So based on that we can assign. Okay. So as a so we are not responsible for licensed data licensing. We are not responsible for this. Okay.
Okay.
Client will take a headache. This is not our responsibility because at the end of the time client should pay to SAP based on the licensed users. For that licensed users, every licensed user will be charged. Got my point?
Yeah.
So whenever you are creating a user, you will receive the information, the basic information you will receive. what the basic information? Address tab, okay, and if there is any logon data or validity user group, and what are the profiles need to assign, what are the roles needs to assign, what type of license data need to assign. These basic information you will receive from client or functional team. Based on the profile, based on the information, we will create the user in SU01 transaction. Got my point?
Yeah. Yeah. How we will create group?
SUZ, uh, SUZR1 transaction is there. There we can create a groups.
Okay. Suppose if we have 10 users, so we can assign 10 users to that group.
Yes.
Basically, user creation we have to do one by one. Like 10 users we got request. One after the other we have to create Ramu.
If there is a different user data is there, okay, then we can create one by one only. Okay. For
Okay.
example, if all users having the same roles, same profiles, and the same user group and all the things, then
Yeah.
we can take a copy, user copy. Okay,
Okay.
and for mass users we have one transaction code also is there. Okay, we will see that for mass users.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
once I have created this user, okay, once I have provided all the information, then I can save this user ID. So this is nothing but a user master data. This entire information, address tab, logon data, SNC, roles, profiles, all the things.
And we need to worry about personalization tab also, or it will automatically take care.
No, it's not a mandatory.
Okay. What it means, Ramu? Personalization.
We will see.
Yeah. Okay.
Where is this? Oh, okay. Got it. We are in SUGRT code. Okay. Got it. This is the user group. Here we can create a user group, right? SUGR transaction. Whenever you save the user data, you will receive this message. User Bala. User ID is Bala was saved. Correct?
Yeah.
And whenever user ID has been created, okay, I can provide the user information to the particular user. What are the information I need to provide to the user? I need to provide the user ID. I need to provide the initial password. I need to provide the which system. I need to provide the which client. Correct?
System, yeah, client. Yeah.
You have
Sir,
created
how
a
to find out
user.
how many users are there in system?
Huh?
How to find out how many users are in system?
Okay, we'll see. Whenever you have created a user, okay, I need to send the information to the particular user. Okay, I can send an email to the user. Okay, what email we need to provide? Okay, in a real time, how we can send an email? Hi Bala. User ID. What is the user ID?
Bala.
Bala has been created in DEV system in client 200. Okay, with the initial password is, what is my initial password I kept? Okay, please try to log in and let me know if we have any issues. Got my point?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So this email we need to send to the particular user. What are the information we need to provide? We need to provide the user ID. We need to provide the system. We need to provide the client. We need to provide the initial password. Okay? Got
Password
it?
we can check Ramu first time.
So we will see now.
Okay.
200. The user ID is Bala and initial password.
Oldest.
So now it is asking me new password. So whenever user is trying to log in at the first time with the initial password, okay,
Yeah.
it will ask you the change the password. Okay, so based on the user, he can change his own password. He can change it to his own password. Okay, I am providing our master password only. Got my point?
Yeah, yeah. This language set by default EN.
Yes, we can check the language. We can set the client also. We will see that.
But okay, okay.
So user master, one user was created and he able to log in, right?
Yeah.
This is his home screen, user ID Bala. Okay. See here, user ID is Bala and system is DEV and client is 200. Correct?
Yeah, yeah.
So now this user has been created. Okay. Now we'll do one thing. We will log in again, okay, with the wrong password. $200, and I'm giving wrong password. Okay. Name or password incorrect. Again, I'm giving wrong password. Name or password incorrect. Okay. Again, I'm giving wrong password. What happened? What happened? The session was terminated third time. Correct?
Yeah.
Again, we'll try. 200, Bala, wrong password. Name or password incorrect. See, name or password incorrect. See here now. What is the message we are getting now?
Password no longer possible. Too many failed attempts.
Too many failed attempts. Means, now we'll see. Okay, as a basis administrator, this user ID, okay, go to the SU01, provide the user ID, check this. Locked due to incorrect logons. Correct?
Yeah.
So, how many times he has provided a wrong password? Okay, there is a parameter also is there. If he provided a 3 times wrong password, then his user ID will be locked. If he is provided 5 times wrong password, then user ID will be locked. We can maintain the profile parameter. Okay.
Okay.
So we can maintain the value 3, 4, 5. Means what? Wrong password. We are giving a chance 3 times. If 3 times he has provided a wrong password, then automatically his user ID will be locked. Once user ID has been locked, then he will contact to basis team. Okay.
Yeah.
He will contact to our basis team. How we can contact? He can contact through an email or ticketing tool or something else. Okay. Hi, basis team. My user ID is Bala. This has been locked in DEV system client 200. Please unlock my user ID and please reset my user ID. Okay. Once you got the information, then what you need to do? First of all, you need to check whether the user ID has been locked or not. For that, what we need to do? We need to go at SC01 transaction. We need to provide the user ID. Okay, this lock unlock symbol. Click here. Now it is showing locked due to incorrect logons. Means he has provided a wrong passwords. If you maintain the profile value 3, means what? We can give 3 times. Right? If he provided a 3 times wrong password, then automatically the user ID will be locked. When the user ID has been locked, you can see this message. Okay, and click on unlocked. Okay, now user has been unlocked, right? User Bala is unlocked. Now, if he knows the old password, he can log in with that user password, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you don't know the user password, then in the email what he written, please unlock and reset my password. Okay, there first of all I have unlocked, and the second point I need to reset his password. This is the symbol, last one, change password. Okay, go to here and provide any password. So now the password was changed. Okay. Now we will try to log in with that changed password. Okay. Now again it is asking me to reset the password, correct?
Yeah.
See here. Previously, when I have resetted at the first time, I have given a new password is my master password. Okay. In the second time also, I am providing same master password. Okay. What it is saying?
Should be different from last 5 passwords.
So same password I am providing, right? So it is not accepting. We need to at least change. Okay, got my point?
Yeah.
Any doubts here? Bala, Hari, Rajesh also joined. Rajesh? Are you there, Rajesh? Hello. So now lock is completed, change password is completed. Okay. Now I want to create another user, okay, with the same information of Bala. Okay.
Okay.
With the same information is nothing but same roles he required, same profiles he required, okay, same access is required, okay, same user group and all the things. So whenever same roles and profiles is required, then what I will do, I can take a copy of that user, right? Click
Yeah.
here, copy. It will ask you from which user ID you want to take a copy. Okay, I need to take a copy from Bala. 2, I need to create a new user ID, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and what are these? What are these? These are the different tabs in SU01 transaction, correct? Address tab, default tab, roles tab, profiles tab, user groups tab, license data tab, correct? So
Yes.
you can select which tab data information you need to copy from Bala to Ramu. Got my point?
Yeah.
If you
So
want
this one will,
only, if you want only roles, I need to copy. Okay, I will need to copy only roles. What are the roles are there for Bala? I need to assign those roles to Ramu user ID. I need to assign a roles and profiles only. Okay, so I can check this mark. Okay, and I want to all information to copy from Bala to Ramu. Then I can take a check all and click on copy.
this
Okay,
one we
what do
will
you
come
think?
to know by requester what all we have to check.
No, what all need to check he will not mention because he don't know what is a copy.
Yeah.
Technically he don't know. Just
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
can provide the roles and responsibilities. For example, he has provided, okay, 5 users. For 5 users he has given a same roles and same profiles. Then what I can do? I can copy here, copy from, I can create a one user first time. Okay, second time I can go for a copy.
Okay.
Okay, so see here, address tab also I have selected here. Now copy. Now what it is asking me? It is asking me for initial password for the new user. Correct?
Yeah.
He required a new initial password, right? The new user should require initial password. So now see here, address tab, same Bala came here. Because I selected address tab data also copy, right? So here I can change it. Okay, and profiles, these profiles are copied from Bala user data, right?
Yeah.
So now you can save it. Now see here, user was saved. So copy is completed. Okay, next display. What is display? You can see Ramu user data, only display mode only. You cannot change any information in the user master data because you are in display mode. Got my point?
Yeah.
That is a display. Okay, and change. You are in change mode. You can change user data as per the requirement. If you want to add additional roles, if you want to add additional profiles, okay, if you want to add any address data like phone number, email ID, okay, or if you want to give some validity, if you want to provide some user group or account number, okay, so then we can go to the change and we can do the changes. Once changes has been done, then we can save the data. Got my point?
Yes.
Now create. To create a new user ID. Correct? See, if
Yes.
Ramu is already exists, right? If I am trying to create again, what it is saying? User ID Ramu is already exist. Correct?
Yes. Yes.
So we cannot create a second
Same user.
time with the same user ID. Got it?
Yeah.
And
And this user
format,
ID is case sensitive, Ramu.
sorry?
User ID is case sensitive. Like if you are giving Ramu capitals, user should log in with capitals only, or he
No, no,
can
it's
log
not
in
a
with.
case sensitive. No, no, no.
Okay.
You can log in.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then the last one is delete. What is meant by delete?
Delete the user from this client.
So it will delete the user master data, entire user master data and user ID from the SC01 transaction. Okay.
Yeah.
You can delete entire user master data. User Ramu should be deleted. Yes or no. Okay. If you click yes, then so the user data is completely deleted. Got my point?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Rajesh, are you able to listen? So this is what SU01 transaction code. Got my point?
Yes. Yes, Ram.
Any doubts here?
No,
SU01 is very clear, Ram.
Hari, Bala?
no doubts. Understood.
Only this user types we will see later, right?
User types is the most important.
Okay.
See, what are the user we have created till now? Like
Dialog user.
Muzaid, Hari, Bala, Ramu, all are dialog users only. Correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there are 5 different user types are there. What are the 5 different types? One is a dialog user, system user, communication user, service user, and reference user. Got my point? You need to remember these user types. Okay, and whenever you get a requirement to create a users, you will get a user type also, whether it may be a dialog user or system user or communication user or service user or reference user. Got my point? You will get a user master data, right? What profiles you need to you need to add, what roles you need to provide, and what address data you need to maintain. So apart from that, and what is the user type also, that is a mandatory. Okay, you will get this information from client or functional team. Got it?
Okay.
So where I can see the user type, if I want to create a one system user or communication user or service user or reference user, where I can see this information?
The user type drop down.
Where? In which transaction?
SU01.
In SU01, we can see user type, right? So we can assign a user type in SU01 transaction. Correct?
Yeah.
So now we will talk about the dialog user. First one is dialog user. What is a dialog user? The dialog user is an active user or interactive user. Okay? When the users are logged in first time with the dialog user is nothing but he is a active user in a system.
Yeah.
Means he can log in front end. He can log in with the front end. You can log in with the dialog mode. Right?
Yeah.
So what are the users we have created till now? All are dialog users. What is nothing but a dialog user? As if I create a dialog user, he can log into the SAP system. Correct? In a dialog mode, in a front end mode. So dialog users as a interactive users. Right?
Yeah.
And whenever dialog user is login at the first time with the initial password, okay, he will get a message to change his initial password. So he can provide his permanent password. Correct?
Yes.
That is for first time only, not second time, third time. Okay?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And that permanent password, okay, default it will valid for 90 days only. 90 days. Okay. After 90 days, automatically we give you a pop-up, change your password. Got my point?
Yeah.
And for this all security, SAP security user master data, we have some different profile parameters are there. What are the different profile parameters? We will discuss based on our topics. Okay, one of the profile parameter we discuss. We will see the profile parameter naming conversion. But what is the profile parameter we discussed previously? Log the user. No, not that profiles. Security related profiles. Security related means log the user. If he has provided 3 times wrong password, then this user should be logged. Okay? I need to set a conditions. Okay. So in SAP security, consultant, he need to mention the conditions also. Because every user ID we need to maintain the strictly, right? We need to follow the strict rules, right?
Yes.
If you are not provided any strict rules, then he can provide, if there is no security, see the name itself, it is providing security, SAP security. What is it means? You need to provide some restriction to the system, to the client, to the data, right?
Yes.
So We will discuss what are the different types of securities are there. First, we can see the log user. Okay, how many times he can provide the wrong password? 3 times only. If he is provided more than 3 times, then that
It will
user
work.
ID will be logged automatically. This is the first one. Okay, we will see all the profile parameter names at one time. Okay, now
Okay.
one more thing is whenever he changed his initial password, okay, so whenever he provided a master password like permanent password at the first time, that permanent password will validity up to 90 days. Okay, if I
This
want,
one
I
cannot be
can,
extended.
the next point is that one only.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if I want, I can change this 90 to 120 days or 30 days, 60 days, means validity, password change. Okay, got it?
Yes, clear.
Now, the dialog user is an interactive user. Okay, these dialog users will be have a initial password. When the first time he is logging with the initial password, he will get a pop-up message to change his initial password. That first time only. Got it?
Yes, yes.
This is the dialog user. Any doubts? And SAP auditing time, the licensing data will be cost for dialog users. How many dialog users are there? It will affect to the cost. Okay. So in SAP auditing time, we need dialog users list. As a security consultant, you need to take a data from the system, how many dialog users are there. Okay, this information we need to pull out from the system and pull out from the client. Okay, and this user master record is a client specific only. It's not a cross client. What is meant by cross client?
It can be used in other clients also.
Within a system.
Yeah, within same SID.
Same SID means same system. Okay.
Yes.
So the client data will be used for across the clients within a system. So that is a cross client data. Okay. User master data is a client specific data only. Okay. This is my dialog user. Got my point?
Yes, sir.
And another user is service user. Another user is service user. Service user, this user type is a dialog user which is available to a large. Okay, for example, this service user also a dialog user only. Okay, then what is the difference between a dialog user and service user? Okay, whenever you created a dialog user, okay, whenever you set the initial password, whenever user has logged in, he can change the initial password, correct?
Yes.
But in service user, whenever you created a service user, you need to set the password, right? Whenever you are
Yes.
creating a user, at the first time we need to set the password, right? Without password, what is the use of user ID? There is no user ID. There is no use of user ID, right?
Correct.
So whenever I create a service user, it will create. I will change the. I will provide some initial password. Okay. So service user also dialog user. Whenever I am trying to log in with the service user ID, it will not ask me to change the initial password.
Okay.
Got my point? So you cannot change the password for service user. Got my point? That is the first point. And the second one is even this service user also will validity for 90 days, password validity. Okay? Now, multiple logons are possible with this user. Multiple logons. What is mean by multiple logons?
To more than one session.
For example, I created one user ID, Ramu. This is my service user type. Okay. So whenever I created, I will provide some initial password, right?
Yes.
I provided some initial password. This is. So if I given this user ID and initial password, okay, to you means Hari, Bala, Mujahid. Okay. So whenever you guys are trying to log in, okay, through SAP GUI, what is the user ID? Ramu, and you will provide the initial password, right?
Yes.
And once you provided initial password, it will not ask you
Change password
to
option.
change the password. Okay. And
Okay.
so Hari can also be logged in with this user ID and password. Bala can also be logged in with this user ID and password. Mojahid also can log in with user ID and password. So these three people are logged in with the same user ID and password, right? This is nothing but multi-logon. Correct? There are multiple logons are there with the same user ID and same password. So that multiple logon is possible. Got my point?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And one more point, dialog user also multiple logon is possible. For dialog user also multiple logon possible. Okay. Dialog user. I created one dialog user. First time I created one dialog user. Okay. User ID is Ramu and initial password is okay. So whenever I am login first time with the user ID Ramu and initial password, what it will ask me?
Uh,
It will ask me to
Password change.
change the password, right?
Yes.
Definitely it will ask, right? Because
Yes.
it's a dialog user. So I have changed. I have given my master password. Okay. So
Yeah.
I have logged in with user ID and master password. Okay.
Okay.
So I have logged in this. This is my one session or one logon. Okay. So Bala also logged in with the same user ID. Bala also logged in with same user ID and same master password. If he knows, then what will happen? It will not log in directly. It will give you a pop-up message. First of all, it will provide you pop-up message. What is this? What the pop-up message will give you? We will see now. I have logged in
Okay.
with which user ID? We have created a users, right?
Yeah.
Bala is
Bala.
there, right?
Yes. Yes. Ramu we deleted.
Okay. Okay. So we will try to log in with the Bala user ID. Tomorrow we will change this client in language. Okay. Bala and did I change the initial password or not? We'll see. No, I changed the initial password. Hmm? Oh, okay, okay. We have provided another password, right?
Yeah, first time you change the password.
Oh, see here. Whenever user ID Bala is already logged in, again, if I'm trying to log in with the same user ID credentials, okay, now it is asking me, see here, three options. What are the three options? Continue with this logon and end any other logon in the system. Second one, continue with this logon without ending any other logons in the system. Terminate this logon. Terminate this logon means the
It will exit.
second time where whatever I am trying to access in second time, this session will be terminated. Okay. And first one is continue with this logon and end any logons means I can able to log on. The first time who had logged in with these credentials, he will log out. He will kicked out without his intention. Okay.
Okay.
What is the second point? Continue with this logon without ending. So I can able to log on and he can also able to log on. Correct?
Yeah.
If you select this, see here, one session has been terminated, right? I got a pop-up message. See here, user session is closed by system, right?
Yeah.
So that session has been closed and here I am able to log in, right? So
Yes.
for dialog user, for dialog user also multiple logon is possible, but it will give you a pop-up message. Shall I end the session? Shall I kill the session? Okay, kill means what? End. Okay, shall I end the session or not? Or without end, if you want to log in, is possible. Okay, but that type of pop-up message will not receive in service user. Service user is a dialog user only, and you will not change the initial password, and the multiple logon is possible. For example, when I can create a service user, okay, for example, I need to give some training in my SAP system to 5 developed users, 5 different users, okay. So for 5 users, what I can do is I will create one service user ID, okay, service user ID, and I can put one initial password, okay. If I provided the service user ID and initial password to 5 users, they can log in with the user ID and password, okay, and I can restrict the password. Why? Because the password cannot be changed, right, for service user. So those 5 users, they will log in, but they cannot change the password, first point. And second point, the 5 users can log in at a time, right? Because multiple logons are possible. Okay. Once they have logged in, I can give it training. Got my point?
Yeah.
That is the scenario. Okay. Dialog user and service user. Tomorrow we will see the remaining users. Got my point? Any doubts?
No.
No.
Okay, fine. Tomorrow we'll meet and we'll discuss the remaining user types.
Okay. Okay, Ram. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.